started less than an hour ago. People started turning out around 9:45 this morning, and I would say we have more than 1,000 people now.
Happened in the parking lot of a Walmart shopping center in Pico Rivera.
If you can avoid the streets of downtown, if you can avoid the 101 freeway, the 110 freeway, I definitely would.
200 protesters still at this intersection, many of them waving flags and signs. Now, most of them have been peaceful. Things getting a bit rowdy within the last hour, though. Some people setting off fireworks.
Hi, it's me, Ivy. Welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna have a slightly different tone than all my other videos. If you guys don't know, I live in Los Angeles, where things have been crazy, and because things have been insane, I have spent a lot of time on my phone scrolling through countless videos and just soaking it all in, and it's just been doing horrible things to my mental health. And I noticed I haven't really been taking action other than just watching videos, and so nothing's getting done, right? And I'm spending all this time scrolling through videos, and I haven't been able to read. And I also haven't really been, like I said, improving my mental health or doing anything to make a difference, because all I'm doing is watching videos and spending literally, if you guys see my screen time, 5 hours a day. So this week, I'm going to spend this whole week swapping out that time, the time that I spend on my phone watching these videos, with reading and taking action. I am a Mexican American, right? Like, this stuff really affects me. I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna take an action every single day, and I'm going to read, and I'm gonna swap out that time doing videos for my mental well-being, reading instead. So taking an action, right, to make a difference, and also reading something proactive, doing something proactively instead of just doom scrolling. So that is what I'm going to be spending this week doing. I hope you guys join me on my journey as I do this, as I swap out doom scrolling for actual action and reading while my whole city is literally on fire. So join me if you wish. Okay, so I'm here, and so for every day that I'm reading for the next 7 days, and obviously beyond, but this vlog is going to be for 7 days, I'm going to do one thing to take action with everything that's going on right now. So today, it's day one. I think that I'm going to contact the YMCA, because there's a lot of YMCAs all over Los Angeles, and they said that you can contact what they're doing. What YMCA is doing right now is there's a lot of people that are afraid to leave their homes, so they're taking volunteers to help them deliver groceries to people that are afraid to leave their homes. So it says if you want to volunteer to, or if you want to help, to contact the volunteer center. So that's going to be my first action for today. For the first day is I'm going to contact my local YMCA volunteer center and see what I can do to help. That's going to be my action for today. What the fuck? There's 2 helicopters and I hear police sirens. All right, so it is the end of day one. It is time to go to bed. And I think I did pretty good for my first day. I didn't do the whole 5 hours. I think I probably only got about 3 hours in. So for my audio book, I listened to about 1 hour and 23 minutes of A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. So I'm about right here now. I'm very close to the end. And I'm actually really enjoying this. It's not at all what I expected. I don't know why in my head I thought it was going to be some sort of sapphic vampire novel. It's not. It's about these two girls that are both like scholars, or they study with a scholar. We have this woman here, Sylvia, and she is basically a princess for a throne that she's never gonna have. So she becomes a scholar with her, Lorelai, I believe is her name. And then they go on this expedition, and then their scholars found murdered, and so it turns into like this murder mystery sort of thing. And it's actually pretty good. I'm surprised that it has like a 3.69 on Goodreads. Actually, that seems about right, because right now, like, the only thing that's like doing it for me is the romance. But it's not a book that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, I want to put it down. No, it's like a pretty decent read. You know what I mean? It's almost like a cozy fantasy, and that's not at all what I was expecting from a cover that looks so vampire-y. I don't know. I am enjoying it. I mainly picked this one out because she looks so much like my daughter. Like right now, it's looking like it might be a 3.5 star. And also physically, I am just about done. I thought I was going to finish this today, but I kept getting distracted because my fiance decided to get Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 on PlayStation VR, and then I kept getting distracted watching him play, so I did not get to finish it. But I started at, I think I was at 116. I was on page 116, and I am now on page 154, and there's only 171 pages, so I'm very close to finishing this. I'm hoping that I finish it by tomorrow. But if you guys do not know, this one is also kind of like a murder mystery, which I was not expecting. I thought this was going to be like a cozy fantasy, but we are basically following our main character, Nancy, and Nancy goes to this like boarding school where they help kids that have been to fantasy worlds, because once you go into a fantasy world and you get sent back to the human world, you want to go back, because it's just, this world is like so bland compared to those worlds. And the chances of you finding another door into that world is very, very rare. Like, it doesn't really happen at all. And so they opened up boarding schools for people to help rehabilitate them to be normal humans again, but without like antagonizing that what they experienced was fake, anything like that. Nancy goes to the school, and then right away someone ends up unalive, and they have to find out who the murderer is, and it becomes this like murder mystery. It's pretty good. Like, I really like this book. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the writing. I don't know what it is about this book. We have an asexual main character, which is, I don't think I've ever read an asexual main character, like, ever. So that is also very intriguing and interesting. I'm just really enjoying this a lot. Like, this is a potential 5-star for me. I'm really loving it. For such a tiny book, for it to have such a big impact on me, and literally I feel like it's getting me out of my reading slump, is just amazing. As for taking action, you guys already saw that I contacted the YMCA for the whole volunteer thing. Not only that, but we have someone that I found out has people that are immigrants, family that are immigrants. And so I contacted that person, and I told them, because they're not leaving their house, it's really bad, they're terrified. So I have been in contact with them, and I said, hey, I can help you with your groceries, I can help you with anything that you need. So they said yeah, and I'm going to be helping them with all that stuff as well, so to make sure that they're safe while doing my part as well. So, and these are innocent people, just so you know, innocent, like, people that just want to be with their families. So that's day one. Day one. So that's the end of day one. And yeah, I got a decent amount done. So anyways, you guys, good night, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2. So day 2 is over, and I actually completed the 5-hour mark. So I was able to read a total of 256 pages. I finished both A Dark and Drowning Tide and Every Heart a Doorway,
and I was able to read about 46 pages of Divine Rivals. Yes, which is the next book that I'm reading. So Divine Rivals is a YA book, and I never read YA books, but it's literally been sitting on my shelf forever, and I've just been thinking of, when am I going to read it? When am I going to read it? And I just kept putting it off. I was like, okay, it's time to finally read the book. So I picked it up, and it's actually really good. And I don't even like YA anymore, but the character is actually 18. So I kind of, like, it feels more new adult than YA to me, especially like this girl. She's not in high school or anything. She has a job. And we follow our main character, and her name is Iris. And Iris works for like a newspaper ad. And she always wanted to be a writer, like a journalist or something like that. I forgot if it was a writer or a journalist. And so she wants this executive, this like higher position. And she is going up against this like rich guy named Roman for the position. And she's like, well, if you get it, it's because you have money. Like basically saying like, I have more talent than you, I should get it. If he's fair and square, I should get it. And so Roman, at first he's like, oh yeah, no, that's not true. I'm really good, la la la. And then we follow Roman's perspective too, and he ends up getting engaged to this girl he doesn't even want to get engaged to. And his dad's like basically telling him like, oh yeah, my son is getting this position in this journalist thing. And he's like, and then Roman's like, I don't know if I got it yet. Like, we don't know that. And then he's like, no, you got it, because I don't even care if I have to bribe the manager. Like, you're getting this position. And so Iris is fighting really hard for this position. And she starts getting letters on her typewriter. And the letters just start coming. And she thought she was writing to her brother, who is off away in the army. And it turns out that somebody else is writing back to her, and she thought it was her brother, but it's not. And then we find out from Roman's perspective, this is not a spoiler, that it's actually Roman that is sending her those letters. And so they go back and forth, and then Roman gets to find out more about her, and he starts to like her, because he's like, wow, she's not at all who I thought she was. And then Iris has a really tragic accident happen to somebody that she really cares about. And then after that, she's like, okay, well, I have nothing to hold me back here anymore. I'm going to go be a war correspondent. Like, she starts thinking about being a war correspondent, but she's obviously waiting to see if she gets this position. But she goes to her job, and then the manager ends up giving it to Roman. Because of course, right? And so Iris is like, all right then, consider this my resignation. And the boss is like, wait, what? And she's like, I'm leaving. I'm going to go be a war correspondent because my brother is missing in the war and I need to go find him. And so she does that. It's really good. I'm not big on like historical fantasy, but when you sprinkle in like fantasy elements, it makes it much more entertaining. So I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. So that is my update. Yes, that's my update. Oh, I realized I didn't tell you my action for the day yesterday. So my action for the day yesterday is I got, you know how I signed up to be a volunteer for everything that's like happening? I got an email back and I booked my time slot for when I'm going to help volunteer. And not only did I do that, but I got 2 friends to join me as well. So we're all going to be volunteering, and I'm going to try and see if I can get them to do it a few more days too. That way we can help out as much as we can. So that's what I did. So I'm doing pretty well in that aspect too. Like, I feel, even if it's just like little things a day, I feel like I'm trying every single day. I'm trying to do something to make a difference versus just doom scrolling and being like, this is horrible, because that's not helping anything. You know what I mean? If I just doom scroll and not do anything about it and just be like, this is horrible.
Hey guys, so I'm shaving my eyebrows, but I'm going to be reviewing 2 different books, starting one by one though. So starting off, I think the first one we'll review is A Dark and Drowning Tide, because I finished 2 books in one day. So A Dark and Drowning Tide was that book. I'll have it somewhere here since I'm not holding it, but I have to get ready because I have a graduation party that I'm attending. It was good. Okay, so I don't think I really talked about what happened in the book, but in this one we are following our main character. I think I did talk a little bit about it, Lorelai, and I did talk a little bit about it. I do know that. So basically it's kind of like these 2 girls that like hate each other, but they secretly have feelings for each other, you know what I mean? And this book was like, it was good, you know. I feel like the characters were pretty flat. They felt so like stereotypically portrayed. Like I don't know how to explain it. They really had no personality. There was nothing that really brought them to life, and I enjoyed the characters. I did. The book itself was good. Okay, I was a little hesitant on it because the rating was like a 3.6 or something like that. And usually when a rating is like 3.6, I am like, I'm either gonna I'm gonna like this, or I'm gonna absolutely hate this. And I liked it. I liked it. The characters were flat. These are the issues. The characters were flat. The adventure that they go on was not so epic, you know. Even though they meet all these monsters and all these people and all these beings, you would think that it would be so like a grand adventure and big and fun, and it just, for some reason, even though they were on ships and all kinds of stuff, there was like basically like siren creatures and monsters and all these things, corrupt kings. Emphasis on that. You would think that it would be more entertaining, right? Because it's such a epic adventure, and it wasn't. Like, it was lacking a lot, and I don't know why it was lacking. I just felt like it paid a lot of attention on the adventure of it, but not so much the action of the things that go into. I don't know how to explain it. It was adventure, but it wasn't very like action packed, if that makes any sense. It just, yeah. It's like telling a story, but not feeling like you're in the story. I hope that makes sense. That's the only way that I can explain it. That's the pacing, the tone, the pacing that I got with this book. So that's another thing that it lacked. But that being said, it wasn't boring. It was just lacking something. Okay, in the plot, and obviously the characters needed a little bit more depth. But that's about it. Like, there was nothing. Yeah, it was okay. Like, it wasn't a terrible book. I don't think that the pacing was terrible, the story was terrible. I don't think that it was like written poorly or anything like that. I just feel like it could have been more, and if they would have, the author would have put a little bit more emphasis on the more, it could have been a potential 4 or 5 star. Anyways, as I was saying before, my fiance just stormed into the room. It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't, I never felt the urge to be like, I want to DNF this, but at the same time, I never felt the urge for me to be like, oh, this is a potential 4 star, 5 star, you know? So I gave it like a 3.5. But the fact that I never considered DNFing it means it deserves at least a 3.5, because even with 3 stars, some 3 stars, I have the urge to DNF. Okay, so I feel like I'm pretty reasonable with my rating. It's a 3.5. It's a 3.5. There's nothing over the top, nothing grand, but nothing that's like, I hate this or anything like that. So that's my rating for this book. And then I'm going to do the next book, the book that I read physically, Every Heart a Doorway, next. Every Heart a Doorway is the next book that I finished, and that one was also really good. So I was in a reading slump, right? And I
even have a reading vlog coming out where I try to get myself out of the reading slump. And I read, how many books did I read? I read a few books. In the reading vlog itself, I only read like 4 books for the reading vlog, but on the side, I was also reading a few other books for other vlogs. And it was hard to get out of this reading slump. Like, I was reading books, but all of them honestly were audiobooks. I could not read a physical book, and I have not been able to read a physical book for months, since like April, and it's already June. So I needed help. I needed to find something. I tried so many things. I tried, you know, books that are short. I tried books that like have like really high reviews, and nothing was working. Nothing was giving me that, what I needed. And then I found Every Heart a Doorway, and I grabbed it, you know, because it's Pride Month, and it was one of my books that I had to read for this month. It was my TBR for, if you watched the book Plinka video. And so I'm like, okay, let's just pick it up. It might be good. Everybody talks about it like it's so good. So I picked it up. And I was shooketh with how much I liked it. I don't know how much I talked about this book already. I don't even know if I mentioned it at all. Might have just given you like a brief synopsis. But in this one, we are following, I think I did talk about it, a girl named Nancy. And Nancy went to a underworld, right? And all of these kids that are in this school, this boarding school, are all kids that have gone to different worlds. Wonderlands, Neverlands, nonsense worlds, high logical worlds, wicked worlds like Oz. You know, things like that. And our main character, she went to an underworld, and every world that these kids go to matches their personality. So she was obsessed with the underworld, and she ended up getting kicked out, right? Because the master told her, like, oh, when you're ready, or the Lord, whatever, told her, like, when you're ready, I'll open a door for you, but you need to decide if this is really what you want. And so he kicked her out, and her parents thought she was going crazy, and so they sent her to this school, not knowing that this school is not to help kids with their mental problems, but to help them cope with going to these imaginary worlds. And so Nancy goes, and she goes into this room, right? She is introduced to her new classmate named Sumi, and Sumi comes from a nonsense world, kind of like a Wonderland. And so Nancy meets her, and then we find out that Nancy is asexual, so there is pride, definitely LGBTQ plus representation, and it's so rare, you guys. Like, I don't think I've ever read a book that has a ace main character ever, you know, because all of these books always want to include romance and this and smut scenes and stuff like that, and don't get me wrong, I love that, but it was nice to read something different. And I found the writing to be so beautiful and lyrical and almost like poetic, and I loved it. Like, I loved the way that it was written. And so basically it starts off as kind of like a cozy, I thought it was going to be like a cozy fantasy, to be honest, but it turns into a murder mystery because students start ending up unalive, and one of the other students is obviously unaliving them. And so we're trying to get to the bottom of who is doing it, which student is doing this, and all of that. And it gets really, really good. It gets really, really good. Like, it's weird because it deals with such heavy topics like murder and, you know, finding your place in the world and then getting kicked out of it. And so you're trying to coping with the trauma of like having a home, and then all of a sudden it's ripped away from you, and this world is not what you want it to be. You know what I mean? And it was just so good, and it dealt with heavy topics, but for some reason it somehow maintained a cozy tone, if that makes sense. So even if it dealt with heavy topics, the tone was still cozy. And I don't know if that makes me crazy, or I don't know if that is even possible, but to me it's it still felt like that. It still felt like a cozy book. I don't know. It still felt like a cozy book. The book itself was really good. The characters fully fleshed out, had their flaws, had their highs and lows. The whole story of it was very entertaining. It kept me entertained the whole time. It kept me intrigued. It kept me locked in. And like, it was just a really good book. If you want something that's lyrical, that's cozy, but still has, I guess, like, it's cozy, but it's still high stakes, because it's literally like life or death, right? It's finding a home. It deals with heavy topics, but like, for some reason, it still has, like I said, it still feels cozy. I don't know why, but it does. And it was just so good. And so after reading that book, guess what? That book got me out of my reading slump. That 170-page book, super, super short, got me out of my reading slump. And I'm like so happy that it did. I can't believe it. And so now I am reading another book, which I will tell you about in a second. I'll do another update for that too. So I'm gonna give this book 5 stars because it wasn't like the fastest pacing, but it still kept me entertained the whole time. I never got bored. I never got tired. It got me out of my reading slump, and this is like this was a really bad reading slump that I'm in, and it was just very entertaining. So the fact that it got me out of this reading slump, it deserves its ranking of a 5-star for me. It just does. Because if you can get me out of a reading slump, this reading slump that I've been in for months, that book, whatever it may be, which it happened to be this one, deserves high praise. And so that's it. That's my review for Every Heart a Doorway. And like I said, 5 stars for me. All right, you guys. So let me tell you a story. I was at Target yesterday. I have an update for you, by the way. But I was at Target yesterday, and then I realized that the books were BOGO. So it was buy one, get one. And I was looking at the book section, and one book specifically caught my eye just because of the cover. And so I picked it up, and I read the back, and I was like, I need this book, like now, like yesterday. And so in this book, we are following a girl, and she basically dies and goes to the afterlife, and she realizes that where she really wants to work, because she has a lot of good customer service experience, is in hell. And so she decides to take a job in hell as one of the demons, and she befriends a higher power demon named Belle, and things take off from there. A friendship, I'm pretty sure, turns into a romance, and it just looks so effing good. It looks so good. It looks so good. And this is perfect for Pride Month too, because our main character is definitely queer. She's not straight. I'm not sure what she is. But definitely a Pride Month book. And I am 32 pages in, and I am obsessed because this character has so much depth. Like, it's so hard for authors to write a character that has light elements and dark elements and not one overpowering the other, like a perfectly balanced, morally gray character. You know, usually, especially with fantasy novels, I don't know if this one's considered fantasy. I'm going to consider it fantasy. You basically see the main character, right? And she either has a little bit more good in her or she has more bad in her. There's not too much of a balance between the two. And this character is equally, like, morally gray. She's morally gray. She is sassy. But she's enthusiastic. She knows her flaws, but she embraces them. And she's just so freaking awesome. Like, I love her. And if you guys do not know, the book that I'm talking about is From Whom the Bell Tolls. It's this book right here, and it is a chunker. And I know that I just got over my reading slump. I just told you guys about that, but I just got over my reading slump, and I'm already reading a book that is well over 500 pages. And the reason why is because
I'm obsessed. Like, only 32 pages in, and I already want to go back to this. Like, I have 2 obsessions right now, okay, that I am going back and forth between. This and Beat Saber. I just started playing Beat Saber, and my goal right now is to get so good that I could beat my daughter, and she plays on expert. But that's my goal is in life right now, is to get so good at Beat Saber that I can beat my daughter in expert, and maybe even make it to expert plus. But those are my 2 obsessions, and I just, you guys, if you guys have not picked this up and you like fantasy romance and you like LGBTQ plus elements in your stories, I highly recommend this. This main character is badass. I love her so much. And like, not to like be a little, you know, but she kind of reminds me of me. She is not in her 20s. I know she has to be at least 30 years old, because she was like looking at memories and she's like, oh, well, at 27, this and this. And then after that, this happened and this happened. And I'm like, okay, so she has to be at least 30. So she has to be at least like my age. And she has tattoos on her left arm, like me, that she loves, like me. She drives a Corolla, which I have a Corolla. That's one of my cars. I have 2 cars, but that's one of them is a Corolla. And like, I just loved this character, and she is like, she can be so fun and energetic, and I just feel like I have that personality, but at the same time she can be sassy, and I also have that personality. Like, if you come at me the wrong way, I will snap at you, and that's how this character is. And I'm in love with her. Like, I'm obsessed. And yeah, she's just so relevant to me. Like, she feels like I feel like this character. Like, it literally brought her to life for me, because it feels like me. Like, I see myself in this character. And so I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's so good. It's so good. And I haven't been this into a book since what's the other one? Phantasma. Since Phantasma. Not even Onyx Storm. Like, Onyx Storm was good, but I got pretty into it. I guess Onyx Storm is probably the last book that I was super into. This is great. This is great. I'm obsessed. So, highly recommend this. Oh, and if that's not enough, on Goodreads, this shit has 4.7 out of 5 stars. I have never, with over 11,000 reviews, I have not seen a book ranked that high. Not even Fourth Wing has 4.7 stars. If that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does. That's insane. That's insanity.
Everyone, so I'm gonna be honest, today's the end of day 4 and I barely had any chance to read. I probably read a total of like 60 pages, and that's combined both books that I'm reading. So this physical book, I got 32 pages in, which is this one right here, and it's really good. Like, I'm obsessed. And then Divine Rivals, I probably got like a couple chapters in further into that book. But I was just so busy today. Today was just such a busy day. I had to do my friend's makeup in the morning because she has a recital. And then in the afternoon, I had to take my daughter to her best friend's graduation party, and then I was there for hours, and then I got back, and then I took my fiance to go eat as a family because we wanted to celebrate Father's Day early, since tomorrow it's probably going to be packed and we have something else planned, so tomorrow's going to be really busy too. So it's just been nonstop. I haven't really had the time to just sit down until now to just like tell you guys what's going on and like keep you updated. As far as for my action today, I honestly, like I said, didn't really have the chance to do much, but I did pass by, like on the way home from when we went to the graduation party, there was a protest that was taking place nearby, so we did drive by the protest And I honked my horn. I was playing American Idiot and just tried to support like the protesters as much as possible. But I had the kids in the car, and that was my action of the day. Yeah, that's literally like all I could do. I wish I could have gone to the protest. Beyonce's not comfortable with me going to the protest though, because you never know what could break out. That's everything. So that's my update for day 4, and I don't know how I'm gonna. I should catch up like the days that I don't read that much or don't do an action. I should do like double the next day, but tomorrow's like Father's Day, so I don't even know how I'm going to be able to do any of that tomorrow unless I wake up like early and try to read in the morning and then figure out what I'm going to do for my action. But anyways, yeah, that was my day. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. It's like 1 a.m. So good night, you guys. I will see you tomorrow for day 5. I'm gonna try to read more tomorrow. My goal is to finish Divine Rivals tomorrow. We'll see. Hey everyone, so I am here at the hotel for Father's Day. We did this for my fiance for Father's Day. I have been able to read quite a bit, not as much as I want to, but I still have had the chance to. And for my action of the day is I did get to finish a video that I had made for work for National Immigration Month, because it's important to really emphasize on the fact that all of this is happening during National Immigration Month. It's the fact that it's happening during this time is just ridiculous to me, and I don't think it's a mistake. I don't think it's an accident. It's also available in Spanish. Update on this book. It's so good. It's so good. I think I told you guys that, but still only a little bit in, but I'm really enjoying this a lot. Like it also has some religious trauma in there, which I love. I love it. Oh my gosh. If you guys have had religious trauma, this is a great book. I love this. Alright, so I am here with the final review for Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, because I finally finished this book, and I am shocked by how much I actually enjoyed this book. It had so many things against it, and I think I already talked about that. It had the fact that it was historic. It had some historical fiction aspects, which I absolutely despise that genre. It was literally a blend of 2 different genres that I don't really enjoy or read anymore, and that is YA and historical fiction. Obviously, there are also fantasy elements in there, so that gave it a leg up. And somehow, even though it was those 2 genres mixed with fantasy, it did it for me. Like, I loved it. I don't know if maybe I am not a historical fiction girly, but maybe I am a war girly, because this book was so good. Like, I can't even tell you, it's not the characters per se. Like, the characters didn't really have that much of a personality. They act like pretty much every historical, maybe it's just me because I'm not a fan of historical fiction, but I feel like all those characters kind of act the same, like, oh, push push, you know what I mean? I don't know. But it was the dynamic between them. I loved the dynamic between these 2 characters. And even though it was YA, it didn't really read as YA to me. The main character is 18, and the main love interest the only love interest is 19. So they are, even though it is YA, they are older characters. And I also didn't mind the fact that they're, still a little bit young. I didn't mind the fade to black scenes, which is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to adult romances and adult romantasy. I need open door scenes, but obviously with this I didn't mind it.
the story was so good. The pacing was consistent. I wouldn't say the pacing was fast, but I wouldn't say it was slow. It was a very consistent medium pacing. You know, it was never slow enough to where you would get bored, but you know, like it would give you like information and little things would happen, and then all of a sudden something big would happen, and then it would keep you interested. I don't know how to explain it. Like the pacing was very consistent, that you never got bored, but it was never like, I don't know how to, like, it wasn't overly fast, yet it kept you entertained. And there were several parts where I was like, ooh, I do not want to put this down right now. And the fact that a YA book with historical fiction elements could make me feel like this, Rebecca Ross, good job, because I just did not think that I was going to enjoy it this much. And it makes me want to jump into book 2 and complete the duology immediately. And I'm like, the fact that I want to read, I finished a YA book and want to jump into another one, that's saying things. I already kind of told you what this is about, so I don't want to get too much into it. But just know that the pacing was good. I love the goddess and the god elements of it. I don't know if these gods are actually real gods. Please tell me if they are. But I like the story within the story, like the mythology story. I guess it wasn't a mythology because these gods actually exist in the world, but I like the like divine feminine figure fighting the divine masculine figure, and like the divine feminine being like I don't know, like I just really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say. And I liked the plot twist at the end. I felt like that was very interesting. And I can't wait to see where the book goes. And I just don't know how they're going to be able to wrap it up in one more book with the big plot twist that happens. And the second book isn't even that thicker than this one. But just know that I loved this book. I am going to give it a 4.5 star. I think that's what I'm going to land on. I loved it. This was so good. So that's Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Hey guys, so day 6, an update on day 6 because I didn't update you guys later. So I started listening to Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I got about halfway through the book, and I also read For Whom the Bell Tolls. I can't remember the name. That's such a complex name for a book, but it's a good book. It's getting so good. I got to like page 90. I think I read a total of like 196 pages or something like that, which includes the audiobook and the physical book. And I also finished Divine Rivals. As for the action that I did on day 6, I was supposed to volunteer at the YMCA. I think I told you guys that. And they ended up calling me because they had like an overflow and they didn't need anyone for that day. And apparently like they have a lot of like volunteers and stuff now, so they can't, which is like a good thing, but at the same time it's like, oh well, what am I supposed to do? So we decided to stop by like businesses that we know are like run like small mom and pop businesses that are owned by what we know like Latinx, and they hire that like hire immigrants and stuff. So that's what we did. We supported a few businesses, and so that's what I did because unfortunately I wasn't able to volunteer as much as I wanted to. So that is my wrap up for day 6, and I will see you guys later for day 7, the last and final day. Hello, so it is a wrap up on day 7, and I read a total of 231 pages, which is ridiculous. I was able to finish Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and that book was actually really good. It was a lot darker than a lot of Abby Jimenez's books. I don't want to go into too much detail because I literally have a whole separate
Abby Jimenez vlog coming up, like within the next 2 to 3 weeks, so you'll be able to see my full thoughts on that. But this book, just know that it has it's a lot more heavier than her other books. It deals with different mental disorders, it deals with dementia, it deals with a lot of abuse, especially animal abuse. If you're very sensitive to that, just trigger warning for that, because I'm very sensitive with that. But I really liked it. It was a different tone than the other books, but I still really much enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because I was hoping for something a little bit more lighthearted with everything happening, but it was dark, so I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And I also read about 15 pages of For Whom the Bell Tolls. It's really hard for me to sit down and physically read versus like audio, where I can just run around and do stuff while I'm listening to audio. So I only read about 16 pages of that. However, I'm still really loving that book. Like, that book is so good. So I will let you know. I'll probably do a full length review so you guys could actually see how my whole thoughts on this once I'm finished with it. I never really do book reviews. I think I've only done one, but I think I want to do it for this book, just so you guys can get my final thoughts. Also for actions, I wrote several emails to different representatives across Southern California. I thanked Senator Alex Padilla. I wrote to a few different House representatives and the other senators, letting them know my concerns about everything that is happening. So that was my action for the final day. Anyways, you guys, that's it. That wraps up our week of swapping out different reading time swapping out phone time for reading time and taking action. I did really well. I think I finished 2 to 3 books. So I did pretty well. I read a lot. So I'm very proud of myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I hope that it inspires you to take action and to swap out your reading thing. I might be doing another one, maybe even doing a 24-hour challenge, because this was fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!